night, we had on one side Zayda Lazer's parents' names were, the mother was Zelda,
Yes.
and the father
Yosef.
Yosef's named after.
Yeah, but I think Yosef hat ausgefunden, dass sie etwas hat zweihändige Namen gewinnt. I don't know. Wir haben gewusst, wie Zayda ist.
Ihr gedenkt an?
No, die
Kann man nicht
Jünger hat gegangen begegnen als Sohn zum Train und angefangen beim Train, gekriegt eine Herzattacke und gestorben.
Wow. Welche Sohn? Zayda Lazer oder noch ein Sohn?
I don't know, maybe it was Shmilik, maybe it was Moshe, I don't remember.
Wie viel
I heard
sind-
vaguely the story from Bobby Zelda.
Bobby Zelda gedenkt er.
Bobby Zelda, ja, sie gelebt mit uns, mit Simon.
So wie viele Kinder sind gewesen? Zayda Lazer, Shmilik, Meisha, Sima.
Moshe was the second one, Shmilik was after the, I don't remember.
No?
I don't remember clearly what to ask. Zayda Lazer.
Zayd Lazer was and Moshe
These are the stories.
and Shmilik.
This is the famous story mit Zayda Lazer, mit ich gedenk schon nicht,
Wenn
mit
wir
der
sind
Tfilin, was
von
der
den
klare
Deutschen-
Meister,
Ja. Was sie gewähnt, als wir haben, wenn die Deutschen am Angehen kommen closer, ich habe gearbeitet in einem Hospital, wo sie gewähnt verwundete Soldiers. Hat man genommen, gedacht, evakuieren die verwundete Soldiers, because die Deutschen sind gekommen closer. Hat man reingesetzt uns in die Echelones, und mit gedacht vorn, Kislavotsk is the dead end of one line, which goes Mineralne Vode was, von dort gehen alle lines of you. Und zu uns gegangen Железноводsk, Kissentuki, Kislavotsk. We were the last one but the mountains. So wir haben gedacht, wegfahren bei Nacht. Mit einmal bei Nacht ist angeflogen die deutsche Planes. Und zurissen die Line. Die Airplanes haben nicht gekannt, die Trains haben nicht gekannt gehen. Auch geschnitten uns. Alle 3 Städte, wo sie gewähnt, die Dead End, haben sie übergerissen die Line, wir sind geblieben. Du schreibst das? So, du willst in Niederisch?
What you want?
So we were cut off. And we start to run out from the train because the bombs were flying. And so we ran to a park. But running to the park, I saw my father fell. And I thought that he was wounded or something because they were shooting with shiny bullets from the plane, very low. So I ran to my father, but I was so zumischt. So I just grabbed the coat, what was laying on the floor, and I ran away. When we came in park, it was early, so it was still dark, and everybody dropped on the grass, and like in a dream we were all. And I was wondering why I feel the wet grass from one side and the other side I'm not cold. And while I was sitting like this trying to figure out, so my mother tells me, you know, sagt sie, in such a tumult and people laughing, somebody had zugegangen with dem Seidens coat. Then ich hab so gehabt, coat. Oh, I picked up a coat, and I see that I'm sitting halfway in a coat, and that was, so shocked. We were running, saving the lives from the bullets and bombs. So the coat, I said, I have Taten's coat. So it became light, and nobody can go no place. So we decided to go back home, where we used to live. So we came. Yeah, first we saw that all the stuff which was in the train was stolen. People grabbed somebody's valises and disappeared. So we came home, and we tried to enter the yard. We used to live upstairs. Under us used to live a goy alone. Her husband left her, and she was very, very sick. And we just saved her life. Mama used to cook for her. Varvara Petrovna was her name. I used to bring her food, keep her company, and we nursed her to life. Then a couple of years later, her husband came back. When we came back from the train, but we couldn't travel, we opened the door, the gate to the yard, and want to go into our apartment upstairs. So here was the guy with a big stick, and she's with an understick, standing and blocking us the way to go upstairs.
To your own house.
He said, "You get out, Jews, or we'll kill you." So for a moment, when I used to go to school and to college, I had friends, Jewish friends, goyim. So my father always used to tell me, "Remember, my daughter, a goy is a seine Israel. A goy is a seine Israel." Because I had a very close friend which was a goy. So I was thinking, my father, the friends are so close to me, so friendly. My father lives with the old mentality, because he lived through the pogroms and through all the trouble with the goyim. He was saved by threat. His life was saved. So I said, let him talk. I know, but my friend is such a close friend to me. When I saw this picture with the Varvara Petrovna with the stick, what we saved her life, she would die, and she said, "You Jews, don't come here or I'll kill you." I felt like to cry. It started to ring in my ears. A goy is a saint in Israel, my daughter. You remember, a goy is a saint in Israel. And I saw it. Forever it would live with me. There was another episode what's happened too. A friend, a classmate. But that was... So they didn't let us close. We didn't have food. So my brother sneaked in there was like next to the yard was a few trees, apple trees, and tore off a few apples that we should eat. So we went to my aunt's house, where her husband took her away because he was in the army, Sima. So he came with the army, which was retreating with a wagon, and while we were sitting, we didn't go home. We didn't know what's what. We just was waiting what's happened when the plane stopped, the train stopped. So he came with the wagon. He took his wife and his son, and he wants to take me. So I said, "I'm not going without my family." So my Baba Zelde was there. I said, "Take Baba Zelde, she cannot walk." So Baba Zelde said, "No, she doesn't want it. They should take the young away, me." She said she doesn't care what's happened to her. But I refused to go. If I would go away that time, my family would perish. That I can tell you that. He took Bobby Zelde, and we went, after they didn't let us to our house, we went to my Aunt Sima's. It was a big room and a kitchen, that's all. So we went there. My family, me, my brother, my father, and my mother, my uncle Shmilik, his son Yosef, and his wife. And then came a Polish woman we never saw with a daughter. She said, "Please, she wants to stay with Aidis." And that's it was. And we stayed there. So then my father decides, since we bleiben and the Deutschen will come, and so whom do we have to save? The young ones. My brother and me and my cousin Yosef, the other Yosef Shmilik. So they decide that the two boys will take the rucksacks and will go with the army which was retreating. And me, of course, Tate will, first of all, we had a family doctor for years. He said, he respected my father very much. He said, you know what will happen if something, he had no children, bring me there and they will save me. So my father said, get dressed and go. So we came there, and Dr. Prozorovsky was his name. And my father said, okay, now there is my daughter and I wanted to. He said, oh, I'm sorry, but you know, I'm afraid that if I'll hide a Jew, I will be punished. I can't. You know, in the yard, there is a few students from medical school from Leningrad came. Let her stay with them. They were all Jewish. So my father said, no, he's not doing this. Then there was a very rich dentist, a friend of my father too, and he paid up to, in a village to Goyim. They would take him there and hide him and his wife. He didn't have no children. So he'll take me with. When we came there, we missed them by 10 minutes. They were away. What's happened after the Germans came, that Goy, who he paid the money, gave him up right away to the Germans. And the Germans made them as president of the Judenrat, whatever it is, and they perished within a week. He cleaned up all the Jews in Kislovodsk. So that was the second place where I supposed to stay. The third place, when we missed them, my father said, now you're going to my friend Sonia. She was an Armenian. And we were like two sisters. We went from elementary school, high school, and we went both in college the first year. So we went there. He brought me there. She said, of course, I would stay. Her father was arrested by the communists. He is alive. She was living with a stepmother and an aunt, and Tate dropped me off there, and he was sure that I am safe. After being there an hour, in the same yard was a boy was a classmate from ours. We went together in high school. And he came up to me and he said, if you'll stay here, I'll be the first one to give you out to the Germans. Well, if he is alive, soll seine Kapore verreiden, but he saved 4 families by telling me that he will give us up. If he wouldn't tell us, so until after the Deutschen will come, but because he told me, so I said, if I heard this, I said, I'm going to die better with my family together. Why would I die here? So it was 2 o'clock in the morning. The town was on fire because the Russian, the government, when they retreated, they burned down the place what supplies electricity, big warehouses. The Germans shouldn't get nothing. So I was just afraid to walk alone after 2 o'clock in such a... So I told them, could you walk me to my house? He said, okay. We start to walk. We walked maybe 50 feet, not more. It was a church, big church. All of a sudden we heard like horses coming. He said, oh, they will see me the Jew, and he ran. You know, from all this thing, and it was ringing in my ears, my Tochter Goy is saying Israel, wherever I just moved, I saw it with my own eyes, that my father was right. It's not because of his old mentality. A Goy is a saying Israel. So he left me near the church and unclosed it. I was so already desperate. I said, whatever it is, would I be killed here or there? What's the difference? I just was standing near the gate of the church when 4 riding men, which was Muslims. We had dort in Karachai, some sie gerufen. On the horses was passing by. It was at night, they didn't see me or they didn't care, and they just passed by. So when they passed by, I started to walk home. So I came, that was a 15-minute walk in the darkness. I came, and what did I see? There is no electricity. That lady, Polish lady, my parents, were burning the passports. That it's in Russian, in a passport, it's a Jew, the nationality, so they're burning the passports. But a Lichtel was burning, and that's all in them. The uncle's family and unsere family, all in one room. And my father saw it, he said, "Oi, what are you doing here?" I couldn't tell him the story, what's happened. So I told him, you know that Sonia's father given anti-communist. He said, he know for sure that the Germans don't kill religious Jews. They kill only communists. So the Polish lady said, oh no, it's not true. He kills all the Jews, because she ran away in 1939, and she knew already that all the Jews were killed in Poland or taken away in the ghettos. She said, no. I said, no, for sure, I know. And from all this impression, I was so, like, not in my mind. I just fell in the bed, and it wasn't a deep sleep, but it was like in a coma I fell in. And like when just started to get light, I came out of bed and I said to my father, let's go by foot from here. He said, wait a second, you said that. I said, don't ask me no questions. He knew already that I had some kind of experience. I said, we're walking by foot with the army. Now, my aunt was a very sick woman with heart. And to walk with the army, we had to go up the mountains, the highest mountains. In the valley it was August, was 90 degrees up, and the Elbrus was snow. Within one day, you were summer and winter. We were not dressed warm. We lost our shoes walking. But what I wanted to tell you, what Sashkocha practiced. So my uncle said his wife cannot walk. They have to get a horse and wagon and put the women. So my father stayed on one corner and my uncle at the other corner. And while the army was going with horses, retreating, they start to offer money. Maybe they want to leave a horse and wagon. So my uncle found a guy. He came with the horse and wagon. What does he want? He wants boots, Stiefel, but in Rusland we had a pair of boots. He wants vodka. He wants money. He wants, so everybody started to chip in whatever they had. All of a sudden he has asked, schmeißt the Pferd and runs away. Leaving everything because he got scared or something, I don't know. And that's it. That was in the middle of the day. They're staying again and again. It's get already darkish. And, there is no government already in the more than a day. And everything is exposed. Whatever, everybody can do what they want. So we already gave up. Yeah, so he said the two boys let them retreat with the army. So when they put on the rucksacks and start to walk out of the house, my aunt became hysterical. It's only one son by her, and fainted, and the boy refused to go. Her son refused to go. He said, whatever it would be, we'll stay together. Within a half an hour, all of a sudden, came a woman with a horse and wagon, the same horse and wagon, but that man ran away. And she asked only for the boots and for the vodka. And she dropped off the wagon and disappeared. So we start to put up some things, what we had, some food, what left over, no, nothing to, some clothing, and my aunt on the wagon because she couldn't walk. And then start to follow the army.
Piet geheißen the aunt? What was her name?
Hase, Schmilek's wife. And start to retreat. When we came to the end of the city, was standing a family, the name was Leiband. Their daughter was married to Rabbi Tamarkin's son, Hirschel Hittrich's an uncle. Yeah. The only son of Rabbi Tamarkin. And she was staying with 4 Pitzlach Kinder. He was in the war. With her sister, with her father. And she said, Raizel, say goodbye to her. So Raizel, she said to my Taten, wird sich raten, but mir umkommen. So my father said, go with us. That was already by the end of the city. She said, where? With the Spitzlach, 2 by the one side, 1 on the end. And we went away, and later on I got from my Armenian friend in 1943 was or 44 a letter. We were already in Tashkent, and she described how the Jews in Kislovodsk died, how they surrounded them, all of them, and they shot them on, they called Steklana Gara, it's on the outskirts, and that I had a Jewish friend, Eva Sonia, which lived. So her mother lost her mind while marching and started to speak on a German or somebody, and they shot her in front of her children. That and the rest, this anyhow was shot right. Nobody survived from Leiband's family. Nobody survived. That. When we start our journey. It's a long, long still story. You want I should tell you?
I want to hear the one about the tefillin.
That was more than that. Okay, so we start to travel, and we followed the army. Then, the army became shitterer and shitterer because the Goyim used to arrive in a dorf and stay there. That's all. Nobody knows who they are. Change the clothing. A goy. So when they saw that we didn't know the way, we following them. They start to scream, "You Jews, don't follow us! Don't follow us!" So at one point we were almost left alone, and we had to cross on the other side. We were traveling approximately 2 weeks by foot. So
only Chassia was on the wagon.
Huh?
Only Chassia was on the wagon.
Chassia was on the wagon, then she walked already. You wouldn't believe that she couldn't walk in the streets. She walked up the hill because the horses didn't go. At one point, the horses broke off, and my tata wasn't killed, I don't know. The wagon turned over. Luckily, nobody was there but my father. And the soldiers were retreating. They catch the horses, but they fix the wagon, and we continue. But when it was a night, and there was the Messerschmitts, the German Messerschmitts, bombarded wherever we were heading for Nalchik. This is a railroad that has a few way to have to get out of there. That's the main destination was. So we had to cross a river and a big river which supplies the energy, the hydroelectricity, that river. So when the Germans came closer, so they were fighting the Germans, Messerschmitt, with the Russian to save that bridge. And so the Germans threw a bomb and tore the bridge. And the Russian destroyed the hydroelectricity, so we were left on the other side, we couldn't cross. So there we would be left on the mercy from Goyim. One Yiddish wagon with 3 families. The Polish woman was with us, and then another Romanian doctor with his mother followed. You know, the minute they saw a few Eden, everybody sticks to it. So we start to say goodbye to each other. There is no way have to cross the river. And there is crying, there is hugging, and you know, we're staying here. But not too far, I saw a man and a woman and a little kid, something they were holding or what. So my father came closer. He was a soldier, a Yid, the Baiba Goye, and with a little baby. He said, "No, what we're going to do now? We are stuck. We will be killed here." So the soldiers said, "Oh no, look that bridge." Real, you know, the bridge was a wagon. I don't know how the wagon passed by. When I was going, the bridge was jumping like this. It was like bretter to me. So we start to go ein and noch ein and noch ein, is durchgegangen. And then the soldier with the wagon went and it gehalten. So my father took a chance and went, and we made on the other side. That is all that this is Lyon. That's all. Because there was no people around. And then all of a sudden, on the side gesessen, a soldier with a, ich weiß was. Anyhow, so we crossed on the other side. And when we crossed on the other side, there was still the Russians. We were walking through the villages, but you know, food, they didn't want to take Russian money, so we dig a potato on the way, we dig something else, and when the plane used to fly, and you on the mountains, you like this, yeah? So, not to see them, we used to hide under a big plane, just the head to cover, you shouldn't see the roar over the head. That's how we made. So we walked and walked 2 weeks, like that. Until we came closer to Nalchik. From there already trains were going.
Bobby, what did you do for Shabbos?
Should I tell you the truth? We didn't know the day of the week. We were traveling day, night.
Did you know when you said Shisha, yeah?
No, my father used to like film, but we were like in that.
What was the famous story once at Gelegt film?
So when we came closer to Nalchik, we had to cross a big, gigantic bridge. And then already there is the railroad station, there is, they take Russian money, you can buy something. Anyhow, we came to the bridge, and my father decided he doesn't know the time, no watches, no nothing, because we changed everything for a piece of bread.
It could have been Shabbos too, like 12 of Shabbos.
No, it wasn't Shabbos. Anyhow, so Shabbos, we didn't travel Shabbos. I think so. We walked. Ich weiß was ich gewinnt. It's 1001 night. So he came to the bridge, and on the top of the bridge, the airplanes fighting. The Russian with the Germans. The Germans want to destroy the bridge, to cut off the side, and the Russian tried to chase them away. So the bombs used to fly in the water, bomb, and the water stands up like this. You know, it was. But people was already so immune to everything. They was like zombies. They don't know what's flying. So my father stand up and he said he's not moving farther over the bridge. He'll put on tefillin. He started to put on tefillin, and the bombs are flying from all the sides. So me and Mama said, was ist da gestellt? Tomer fällt die Bombe mit Hargen in alle Menschen da. Let's fliehen on the other side. And then he doesn't budge. Meantime came another wagon, Polish Jews. And they looked at my father with the twill and said, Rebid, was tut da? Ihr nicht gefunden kein besserer Platz? Ihr wollt gehargert werden da? And my father stand im Nesser, he didn't respond. They ran across the bridge and the bombs were flying. By the time they finished davening, the Russian airplane chased away the Germans and became quiet. So we crossed the bridge quietly, with the old people. We came at the other side of the bridge. Sure enough, there lays the dead horses and torn wagon from the Polish people. Mamish from the other side of the bridge.
A bomb fell on the
Yeah,
horse.
they were at this, and tore the horses. They jumped
the
over
Jews?
something.
Not the Yidden?
No, they didn't survive. Maybe they were a little bit damaged with something. When they saw us coming on the other side, he came over to my father. He said, "Rebid, ihr hot Ruach Kodesh." So then it started the journey. This was from there. We already traveled. They put us on a cargo trains. What was the cargo train? Open. There is no covered wagons. Just like an open train with no. And inside was they were evacuating some from the factory, some expensive material. So they put the people on the top. So the plane was shooting and we were sitting on the plane. And Baruch Hashem, they didn't get us. And that we were übergefahren in Krasnovodsk. This is already Asia. And it survived. Azay, hungry, with such swollen feet, no shoes, because when we walked up the hill and the paar shoes, everything fell apart. The feet was swollen, but we came alive. And there, wait a second, it was Baku maybe. It was Baku.
When did the laser see the Frierdiker Rebbe? When was he close to
That was in
Lubavitch?
39,
That was later?
I think.
That was earlier?
No, earlier, noch in Simferopol. But when we came to Baku, they discharged us, they put us. There was thousands and thousands of Jews laying weeks and weeks on the ground. That was interesting. On the ground. And Polish and Russisch and Hungarian, and they used to distribute bread, Wasser, this, that. We're supposed to go with a ship across to Asia. So people said, "Oh, you have time. This is a month already here. This a month and a half." So, and by the time it's tailed the bread, they didn't time to fight between themselves. Split one of the other. So I told my father. So I'm not nice. We unsere Eden behaven. We schlug sich, we fight for a stickel bread. So my father looked at me, he said, "Mein Tochter, if das wird gelegen, als so viel Goyim da, wollten sich gehargert in dem Zweiten, nicht gespinnt im Face. Sie wollten sich zu kehlen." And then, while we were sitting there a day or two, we were talking there at the door, says, "Oh, you from Kislovodsk?" Sagt mir einer früh. "You from Kislovodsk?" Ja. "Oi," sagt sie, "Lemons dort liegt a früh mit an alter Mama. Und die Mama reißt die Haar von sich," sagt sie. "Sie hat gelassen 2 Sinn mit Kindern in Kislovodsk. Was haben sie mich zugenommen?" sagt sie. Sie hat mir gehargert und ich darf leben. Ich will nicht leben. Sie hat gerissen auf sich die Haar. Sag ich, frage ich bei ihr, was an ältere Frau mit der Tochter mit der Engel. "Oi," sag ich, "let me go to my Bobby." Bobby Zelde was it.
Wow.
Wenn sie hat der sehen, am telling you, sie hat ausgeschossen, als gewähnt, als solche Kehles, Menschen haben sich zum Neben gelegt. "Oi, du weißt nicht," sagt sie, sagen sie, die Menschen, was sagen, sagt sie hat nicht aufgehört, weinen und schreien. "Was habe ich auch getan? Was hat er mir zugenommen von meiner Sprache? Und gelassen starben meine Kinder, mit meine Sinn, mit meiner Klach." That was that. Yeah, if you want to hear the story how we crossed the Black Sea in Baku, wie wir sich hier nicht untergegangen unter dem Wasser, ist for next time.
One more thing. Zayda Laser's connection to Lubavitch started when? At Peretz Mochkin?
Peretz Mochkin in Simferopol. This was in the 29 or 27, ab sich gedenkt nicht.
Und ein Meister gedenkt sich, als gegangen bei Nacht, nicht gewusst, wo es gewesen.
Wenn der Rebbe gefahren in Amerika, haben sie gegangen dort, ja, der Port ist auch dort, man geht mit der Schiff, hat man gedacht. ist gegangen mit Reperz Motschken, mit allen Chassiden, und als mir gekommen bei Nacht, ich denke, wie die Mama gegangen und gebrochen die Hand, oi, weiß mir, mit dem Arrestierter geht's, mit dem Schamkämel nicht sehen, in der Früh, he showed up, and he told us the story that said goodbye to the Reb and Nishma Sei, Yesef Yitzchak.